Polar bear versus walrus. Who is the king of the Arctic? The polar bear is often called the king of the Arctic. Within the frozen realm of this renowned bear, there lives another powerful Arctic animal, who does not readily submit to ursine rule, the mighty walrus. Polar bears, also known as white bears, are truly massive carnivores, native to the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere. These predators are known as hypercarnivores, which means that over 70% of their diet comes from meat. Known for their characteristic white fur and participation in soda commercials, these great bears are in danger of extinction. Walruses are the gentle giants of the Arctic. They are among the largest pinnipeds, fin-footed, semi-aquatic marine mammals. However, while they have an intimidating size and are carnivores, these animals are not aggressive. Size and description. Polar bears are stocky, with a long neck, relatively small head, short, rounded ears, and a short tail. The male, which is much larger than the female, weighs 900 to 1,600 pounds, 410 to 720 kilograms. It grows to about 5.3 feet, 1.6 meters tall at the shoulder, and 7.2 to 8.2 feet in length, 2.2 to 2.5 meters. The tail is 3 to 5 inches, 7 to 12 centimeters long. Sunlight can pass through the thick fur, its heat being absorbed by the bear's black skin. Under the skin is a layer of insulating fat. The broad feet have hairy soles to protect and insulate, as well as to facilitate movement across ice, as does the uneven skin on the soles of the feet, which helps to prevent slipping. Strong, sharp claws are also important for gaining traction, for digging through ice, and for killing prey. Walruses weigh from 1,320 to 3,300 pounds, 600 to 1,500 kilograms, and can be as long as 10.5 feet, 3.2 meters. Males are about twice as big as females, have longer and thicker tusks, and usually have thicker skin. Walruses have large, flabby bodies covered in brown or pink skin. Short fur covers most of their bodies, except for their fins. Their faces feature 2 small eyes, a mustache, and 2 long tusks. Walrus tusks can grow up to 3 feet, 1 meter. The tusks are canine teeth and stick out from either side of the animal's mouth. Walruses use their tusks to break through ice and to assist in climbing out of the water and onto the ice. The animals also use their tusks to defend themselves from large predators and to establish dominance and a hierarchy among walruses. Range and habitat. Polar bears are found only in the Arctic Circle, and within the Arctic Circle most live in and amongst the sea ice. In some warmer areas, during the summer when the ice melts, they will retreat north to areas where the ice is frozen year-round. They can be found in the northernmost reaches of Canada, Russia, the United States, in Alaska, and Greenland. These bears are uniquely adapted to a life at sea and on the sea ice. Sea ice is composed of large sections of the surface water that freezes during the winter. Their favorite habitat is where the sea ice meets the ocean, because their prey is most prevalent in these areas. This ice will break up and float away, and the bears will swim and follow their prey out to sea. Walruses inhabit areas in the Arctic that are largely made up of ice. Walruses prefer areas with shallow water so they can easily access food. This slow-moving marine mammal spends the majority of its time in or around water. Females spend more time on ice opposed to the males, who spend most of their time on sand or boulder beaches. Walruses migrate north during the summer and south in the winter. The migrations ensure that the walruses can be where the most optimal ice is found. Optimal is defined as relatively thin ice, but thick enough to hold the enormous weight of their bodies. Diet. Polar bears are carnivores, which means the vast majority of their diet is made up of meat. Their primary source of food is seals. Most kills are made when a seal surfaces in an air hole or climbs onto the surface of the ice. They utilize still hunting by waiting silently at an air hole until a seal surfaces, and then snagging the seal with its large paws and pulling it onto the ice. When food is scarce, they have also been known to hunt muskox, reindeer, eggs, birds, crabs, rodents, carrion, and even one another. While walruses eat all sorts of small aquatic creatures, their food of choice is the clam. To find clams, walruses dive to shallow sea floors and search with their sensitive vibrissae, whiskers. Once found, the walrus will seal its lips to the clam's shell and then quickly withdraw its tongue back into its mouth, which creates a vacuum, sucking the clam right out of its shell. Walruses will also prey on seals and even narwhals if they're trapped by ice. They typically can dive to a depth of about 80 to 90 meters and stay underwater for 30 minutes at a time. Behavior. Polar bears are solitary except for mating pairs and females with offspring. They may come into competition with each other when there is a chance to scavenge when a seal is killed. In such cases, the smaller bear usually runs away. Polar bears can dive underwater to catch their prey, keeping their eyes open while holding their breath for as much as 2 minutes. They are inactive for a good part of the time, lying, sleeping, or waiting, still hunting. They spend the rest of the time traveling, either walking or swimming, feeding or stalking prey. They are excellent swimmers and may travel far in search of food. Walruses live in a hierarchical system based on age, body size, and tusk length. The older and stronger the walrus, the higher up it will be in the hierarchy. The male walruses establish dominance and compete for females by fighting with their tusks. The tusk fighting takes place while the walruses are at haul-out sites, which are usually rocky or sandy beaches near the water. The walruses go to these haul-out sites to rest and sleep. Walruses can move the fastest while in the water. Walruses are social and spend most of their time with other walruses of the same sex. Female walruses stay in one herd, while males stay in another herd until breeding time. Sometimes the packs can range from hundreds to thousands. So, what will happen if these two inhabitants of the Arctic come face to face with each other? The polar bear and the walrus are completely different from each other, and have some features that are unique to them and help them in making them a good predator. Despite the huge disparity in size, polar bears do hunt walruses. Substantially, when hunting walruses, polar bears prefer to target young calves, weak and sick adults, or individuals that have strayed too far from the safety of the group, all while avoiding fully grown, healthy pinnipeds. Nevertheless, even an injured walrus remains a formidable opponent for the polar bear, and that is what makes direct attacks pretty rare, and can even force a hungry bear to give up on assaulting, despite its desperate need for blubber. The bear will try to scratch and bite it again with its sharp teeth. Though the polar bear couldn't make a great impact on the thick skin of the walrus, but the walrus does hit back with its 4-foot tusks. The polar bear is also swift enough to anticipate the attack from the walrus and escapes the stabbing of the walrus. The polar bear will have the advantage over a walrus on land, but in most cases you will find that when walruses get attacked by a polar bear, they try to flee towards the water, and that way they gain the advantage. The walrus uses its tusks as the major weapon and makes the kill successfully. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button.